Hi, Dennis here. Quickly want to discuss the shipping assignment. As you know, you were supposed to demonstrate the ability to understand the decision statement, the else, the if, the else, the if-else, conditions, relational operators, and just generally thinking logically. We're going to write this program in C, and I definitely need a design tool. There's only two inputs, the number of miles to ship a package and the weight of the package. My solution has miles as an int and weight as a float. Use the rules below to calculate the cost to ship. If the weight of the package is 10 pounds or less, then the cost to ship based on weight is $10. So the minimum weight cost is $10. For each pound over 10, then it's $1.55. So let's just say it's 11 pounds, it's 10 plus $1.55 or $11.55. In addition, besides the weight, we're going to have to deal with distance or the number of miles to ship. We're going to add to the weight cost $6.66 for each 250 mile segment or part thereof. So in other words, if I'm shipping at 1 inch, the minimum based on distance is $6.66. So the minimum based on weight is 10 and $6.66. So this shipping company's minimum shipping charge is $10.66. $16.66. And then it says for each part thereof. So if it's between 250 and less than 500, it's an extra $6.66. So an inch over, you have to calculate an extra $6.66. This is the hard part. How do you figure out that part thereof? A few examples of the weight and the miles are this. This should be your output. So this output would be something maybe you might want to consider to test or check your work. As always, I want you to put your source in a folder and give me that SRC folder if possible. Zip it up. Some of you have and some of you haven't. Regardless, I need your design tool. So you can go this way or this way. No globals, no go-tos, no break outside of a switch. Okay. So I designed a flowchart for this solution, a flowchart. And what I did is I started with start. And the first thing I did is I came out of start and I got the package weight. And then I got the number of miles of the distance. So I got the weight, got the distance, came over here and I did a test. If the weight is less than or equal to 10, if that's true, then the cost based on weight is exactly $10 because that's our minimum. If that's not true, then the weight is above 10. Don't know how much, but the cost based on weight is $10 for that first part, and then whatever it is, minus 10 times $1.55 for each part thereof. Either way, I connect back up over here. You don't need this connecting circle, but I just thought it was nice to show you. So I connect back up. I come down this line and I do another if statement or another test. I test the miles. If the miles is evenly divisible by 250, that equals 0. That is an even increment. So it's simply the miles divided by 250 times 666. Now this division right here, because this is an integer and this is an integer, will chop off the remainder. So it's safe to do this and multiply here because I will have no remainder. Over here, same thing happens. I lose the remainder. But I have to add one more increment of 666 because there's a part thereof 250. Even, not even, come back together. When I'm done, I come down, display the output, and stop. As simple as that. Come down, display the output, stop. Due to using integer math, miles must be an integer. If miles isn't an integer, this solution does not work appropriately. Real quick, let me share my program. Here's the program. The program starts with a comment header like all programs. So written by me, the date, and this is the shipping program. Because I do not want to use scanf underscore s, I turn off my warnings. There's my two standard libraries. I have 3 aliases, one to pause, one to clear the screen, and one for a flush. And the flush, this is needed to clear the screen. to clear the keyboard buffer. Hopefully if you're in my class I explained that to you. My main starts with the section I declare the variables. Notice I put a line here. These two are input from the user, miles and weight. Everything else from here down to here are variables or constants that I use throughout the program. Notice I capitalize my constants. Don't need these. I could use the 666 and the 155 and the 250 and the 10, but it's kind of nice. If any of these change, I change it up here, and down below in the program, everything still works. So this is how I do my calculations. My calculations for the mile cost, the weight cost, and then I just add them together. This is a loop control variable, and I'll show you in this program I did a loop. All I did is a do-while loop in this program, so this whole thing is going to run, and at the end it's going to say, do you want to do it again? So here I physically get the input. Notice I flush out the keyboard buffer afterwards. Because this is all in so far, that would not matter. Down here, I get the cost based on weight. So if weight is greater than, I believe it was 10, which is a block of weight, then weight cost equals 10 plus how much it weighed, which I know is more than 10, minus that 10 times, I think it's $1.55. The comment out here, I guess I'll scroll over. Cost per extra pound. If the weight cost is not greater than 10, meaning it's less than or equal to 10, then this is how you calculate the cost based on weight. Now, the cost based on miles is a little different. And this is the tricky part. So I do this modulus division. I say if miles mod 250 equals 0. That would mean it was an exact even block. There is no part thereof. So I do integer math, miles divided by 250 times 6.66. Remember, integer math removes all decimal places. If it's not an even, if this number is not 0, anything but 0, there's going to be a part thereof, and I account for that by doing the exact same formula I did here, right here. But I add to it one extra mile rate unit, which is 6.66. The total is simple. Add them together. Display the output. Depending on how you want your output displayed, I'll show you what I did. Just made like a little marquee and the weight, miles the ship, and then I broke down the cost by weight and then total. And I just gave them a little extra little note here. If the extra cost per weight, I believe that would be 155, and the extra cost per miles is 666. Here's that loop I was telling you about at the beginning, and this is the would you like to ship another package, yes or no? I scan in a character from the user stored in this variable again. Here I must flush because I read an int and now a char. Here's the end of my loop. So if this is true, if again equals a capital Y, I'm going to loop back up to the top and do it again. The user right here, when I ask them if they want to do it again and display the YN, could type a little y or a little n. Notice I'm only testing for a capital Y, so if they type anything but a capital Y, I break out of the loop. Well, because users can sometimes type a lowercase y, I like to do this thing called toUpper. It's a built-in function, and it takes this argument, again, which is a char, and on the fly, whatever the user typed converts it to an uppercase. So uppercase to uppercase is still uppercase, so that I can do this comparison without a compound condition. That's it. That's my program. Any questions, let me know.